Rest the forehead to the floor. If you're able to rest the forehead, if you're not, you can always make a pillow with the hands. So stack one fist on top of the other. Give yourself somewhere to rest the hands. And just take a few big, deep breaths there. Long, deep breaths opening through the shoulders. Big, full breaths. Each time you exhale, see if you can encourage the hips further back into that child's pose. And each time you inhale, there might be a slight lift in the chest, and then exhale, you soften, move a little bit deeper. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. 2 more, inhale. And exhale. Just using the breath to connect you to the practice. Turn off from distractions. Worry about what you have to do later today. And then push down into the hands. Rise all the way up. Find all fours, hands and knees on the mat. Inhale, send your tailbone back, look forward. Let's open through the chest. Exhale, arch and round through the spine. Pull the chin in, open through the back of the body. Inhale, look forwards. Find that length. Draw the shoulders back, so make it active through the shoulders. Exhale, pull the waist in, round through the spine. 2 more. Inhale, forwards. Arms long, so push the hands down. Exhale, round through the spine. Final one, so make this one your biggest, longest stretch. Inhale, look forwards. Maybe take an extra breath as you open the chest, as you pull the shoulders back. And then when you're ready, round through the spine, stretch the shoulders out wide. Come back, find a neutral spine. Keep the hips and the knees where they are. Reach the hands forward. So stretch your hands to the top of the mat and push your hips back up to the sky. So think downward facing dog through the lower back, through the hips. Just find length and space through the shoulders. It can be quite hard to hold yourself there. So if you feel like you're having to hold yourself, that's okay, that's normal. Try and relax the head. Push your hips back. Breathe in. Breathe out 1. Inhale. Lift the hips. Exhale. Inhale. Relax through the shoulders. Exhale. Carefully come back up. Walk the hands in to all fours. Take your ball. If you have a ball, you're going to place it between the thighs. So still all fours. A ball is just between the thighs. If you don't have a ball, then just bring your knees together and squeeze the knees. Tuck the toes under, squeeze the ball and lift the knees off the ground. So you're either squeezing the ball or you're squeezing your knees together. Pull the navel to the spine. Really light touch. Let the knees come to the floor and then lift them back up. Try and keep your shoulders still as you do that. So slightly lower the knees and then lift back up. Keeping the squeeze on the ball or the inner thighs. So engaging inner thighs, deep core as you just lift and lower the knees. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you have the ball, keep it there. Stretch back into downward facing dog. You may need to adjust the feet. Take them a little wider. But notice the sensation as you squeeze the ball. Feel a bit more connection around the pelvis, inner thighs. And then from here, you're going to bring it forwards to a plank position. Just hold that plank position. Keep squeezing the ball. So if you don't have one, you're just moving from plank to downward facing dog. Take it back. 4 more times. Inhale forwards. Exhale, take it back. Inhale forwards. Exhale, take it back. Last two. Squeeze the ball, navel in, and take it back. Last one. And take it back. Soften the knees, walk the feet in. And then if you have a ball, bring the ball down in between the ankles. If you don't, just work the feet together. Relax in your forward fold. Staying there, relax the upper body. Just let someone in. And then we're going to slowly roll up to standing. So squeezing and connecting through the ankles, all the way up through the inner thighs. Reach the arms to the sky, inhale. Exhale, arms back down by the side, chin into chest, round down. So if you have that ball, I want you to be squeezing it as much as you can. Notice how much more engagement there is through the inner thighs, all the way to the lower abdominals. Let the body relax forwards and down. And then navel in, feet push to the ground, push your big toe into the floor and roll all the way back up. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Exhale, we'll take this one down and stay down. So chin into chest. Roll all the way to the floor. Let the hands come down. Once you get down, just sway the upper body side to side. Fully release out around the waist. And then just take your circle out to the side, have a seat. And either circle or ball, whatever you have. So if you have a circle, reach for the circle. If you just have a ball or anything you can hold that in front of you. So whether that's a block or anything. If you're holding it, don't wrap the fingers around and grip it. I want your fingers to be long. Sit tall, knees bent, feet to the ground. And then as you exhale, you're going to pull the belly button in and start to roll down to the floor. So you're rolling the spine down, not too much force on the circle. The lower back comes to the floor and stays to the floor. Don't let the lower back lift as you reach the circle overhead. Tap the ground with the circle. So lower back stays pushing into the floor as you reach overhead. Inhale, come up. Bring the chest and the shoulders off the ground. Pull the belly button in. And come all the way up. If you need to use a bit of momentum, then you can rock yourself up. And then take it back down, navel to spine. Tailbone tucks under. What you want you to focus on is as you come down to the floor, keep the lower back there. Don't let it lift as you take the arms overhead. So it should be, you should feel work trying to hold the lower back down to the ground. So don't let the back arch and come back up. Reaching the circle away beyond the knees. And take it back down. Navel in, tailbone tuck. Abdominals pull in, lower back pushes to the ground. Stays to the ground. Arms come overhead. And then we're coming up. This is our last one. We're going to stay up. Okay, so stay reaching the circle forward. Circle or ball, whatever you have. Now change the position of the feet so you're just on the tiptoes. So not planting the feet down, you're on the toes. Curl into the back just a couple of inches. So start to roll back a little and hold yourself there. So I'm having to use my waist to pull in and hold there. Take the circle over to the right. And then semicircle all the way up and over to the left. With the breath, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 5. Keep pulling the belly button in. 4. 3. Super light touch through the toes. Maybe they even hover off the ground for the last 3. And 2. And 1. Let the circle go. Take your ball, if you have it, lie down onto your back. Kick your legs up to the sky and take the ball between the ankles or squeeze the ankles together. Once you're there, support the back of the head. Push your elbows into the floor. So that's how wide your elbows are. That's how much space there is across the chest. Now keep that space. Just curl the shoulders off the ground. So don't bring the elbows in. Keep the elbows out wide. Lower your legs to where you feel the lower back wants to lift, and then hold it. Bring the legs back in. Keep the elbows out wide. Lower the feet away. And bring it back. Even if that's 3 inches, doesn't have to be much movement at all. And bring it back. 6. Bring it in. 5. Bring it in. 4. In. 3. In. 2. In. Last one. In. Relax your body down. Arms down by the side. Bend the knees. Take the ball so it's now between the inner thighs. So it's not down by the ankles, it's in the inner thighs. Squeeze the ball or squeeze the knees. Keep your lower back pushing to the ground. Just lower the toes to tap the floor and bring them back up. The hips might lift as you bring the knees into the chest. Lower the feet to tap the ground and bring the knees back into the chest. Squeeze that ball. 8. Bring it in. 7. Bring it in. Try and relax the shoulders. Let all the weight, all the work come from the lower abdominals and the hips. 5. 4. 3. 2. On 1. Rest the feet to the floor. Just take the ball to the side. Let the knees go out wide. Relax the hands onto the belly and just take a couple of deep breaths. Let the knees settle. Let the inner thighs open. Let the heart rate slow down. Big breath in and big breath out. Big breath in and big breath out. Bring the knees back up to the ceiling. Place the feet into the floor. Run the arms down by the side of the body. And we're not going to push all the way up yet. I want you to just start and focus with the tailbone. So all you're going to do is inhale, lift the tailbone slightly off the floor. Exhale, roll it back down. So it's an inch or so of movement, nothing more. Inhale, lift the tailbone. So it's a tiny tuck. Exhale, roll it back down. Inhale, lift the tailbone. Exhale, lower it down. All the time, try and think about pulling the belly button in. Lift the tailbone and lower. Now, each time you lift the tailbone, I want you to lift another inch of the spine, so another vertebrae off the ground. Roll it back down. So you slowly work up towards the middle back. You just keep going with control, rolling up on the inhale, down on the exhale. So as slow as you can. Maybe there's 4 or 5 more rounds before you get towards the shoulders. Working on that control through the lower back. Constantly pulling the waist in. Constantly pushing both feet down into the ground. So stay firm through the heel, the ball of the foot, all 10 toes. And we'll go all the way for 3. Roll it back down. For 2. Roll it back down. And for 1, hold this one up. Tuck the tailbone, so just correct the position of the hips. If you've dropped a little through the hips, tuck your tailbone, feel the squeeze of the glutes. Push your feet down into the ground, particularly your big toe. And feel the back of the legs really start to work. Hold it here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll it back down. Once the hips find the floor, bring the feet so they're closer together. And then the same roll all the way up through the spine. So you just have a narrower position through the feet. So you're able to really try and squeeze the inner thighs to touch, squeeze the knees to touch, tuck the tailbone under, squeeze the back of the hips. Now from here, keep the height of the hips. So bring your hands just onto the front of the hips so you notice if they start to drop away. Keep the feet where they are. Open the knees out to the side. Keep the hips high. And then close the knees. Open the knees. And close the knees. Keep the hips lifting. 8. Close. 7. Close. 6. Close. For the last 5, see if you can lift the hips even higher. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then slowly let your hips lower down to the ground. You can bring your knees into the chest. Just give a gentle rock from side to side. Feel the stretch around the hips. And then holding onto the front of the shins, lift your chest off the floor. So lift your shoulders, lift your chest, holding onto the shins. Look down into your belly button. Switch the hands so both hands are on the left leg and the right leg extends away. Inhale. Exhale, switch over. Keep the chest lifted. Inhale. Exhale, switch. Nice and slow. Breath in. Switch breath out. The more you can lift the shoulders, the more you're going to feel the work. For 8. For 7. For 6. And 5. 4. Lift your shoulders. Pull the belly in. 3. 2. And 1. Keep the knee into the chest. Relax the head back. Take the arms down by the side. Kick the right leg up to the sky or whichever leg is bent in. So both legs are split but long. And then slowly swap. So bring the opposite leg in. Stretch the bottom leg away without touching the ground. Bring in and swap over. Bring in and swap over. Now you can stay there with the body down on the ground. Or if you want a bit more, lift the chest off the floor, reach your hands to the bottom of the mat. For 8. For 7, keep pulling the navel to spine. 6. And 5. And 4. 3. 2. And 1. Rest both legs. Reach the arms overhead. Push the heels of the hands away. So interlace the fingers. Stretch the heels of the hands away. And then bring the arms back down by the side. Plant your feet to the floor again. So bend the knees. Roll your hips up off the ground. So find a stable glute bridge. Have your shoulders, your hips, your knees in one straight line. And then think about the left foot. Push all your weight down into the left foot. See if you can bring the right knee into the chest. Hold it there. Push the left hip higher. For 3, 2, 1. Slowly place the right foot down. All the weight into the right foot. Right glute on. Lift your left knee into chest. And then lower the left foot down. Carefully shift the weight, squeeze that left glute, and bring your right knee in. Place your right foot down. Take the weight, strengthen, and bring the left knee in. Go once more each side. So place the left foot down, and you're trying not to let the hips dip or wobble too much as you bring the knees up. Last time. And then lower. Roll your hips down to the floor. Bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a good squeeze, a good hug in. And then knees over the hips, feet out. So you've got 90 degrees at the knees, 90 degrees at the hips. Hold on to the back of the head. Lift your head, neck, shoulders off the ground. Look towards the belly button. Inhale, take your knees out to the side. Keep the ankles together. Exhale, close the knees and kick your ankles out. Close the ankles. Open the knees. Close the knees. Open the ankles. Close. Open. Close the knees. Open the ankles. Go for 3, 4, 2. And on 1, I want you to finish with the ankles closed and the knees open. Relax your upper body back down. Take the arms down by the side. Take an inhale breath here. And then exhale, stretch the legs away on a diagonal line and squeeze the inner thighs. Inhale, bring the knees to chest, open them out, keep the ankles touching. Exhale, push the legs away on a diagonal line, squeeze the inner thighs. Inhale, knees open, thighs come into chest. Exhale, legs push away, inner thigh squeeze all the way through, ankles stay connected. Inhale. Exhale, so push the heels away as you squeeze them together. Inhale. Exhale. 5 more, so if you want to lift the head, support the head, you can. Push away, squeeze the inner thighs. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last 2. Push away. And last 1. Push away. Rest the feet to the floor. Take the arms out to the side. Knock both knees over to the right. Gaze over to the left. And then we'll go other side. Take the knees to the left. Gaze over to the right. Back to center. 1 more on the back. So if you don't have a ball, I'll show you what you're doing first. Your feet are pushing down. You're holding onto the back of the head. Elbows are out to the side. As you inhale, you push the elbows down. And as you exhale, you curl up, keeping the elbows wide. Inhale, you'll lower back down. Exhale, you'll curl up. If you have a ball, same thing, but your ball goes whereabouts your bra strap would be, your sports bra is. Hold on to the back of the head. You inhale and open. Exhale, curl back up. Tailbone is on the mat. Inhale, open. Exhale, curl up. Whether you're on the ball or not, keep the elbows out wide. Inhale, push your elbows into the floor or arch back. Exhale, round. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 4, 3. And lift up. 4, 2. And lift. Last 1. And lift. Hold on to the legs. Pull yourself up. Take your ball, your circle out to the side. We don't need them for the moment. Come and lie on your left-hand side. So stretch the legs all the way out. So both legs are long. Reach your left arm out and rest your head down onto the left bicep. Right hand can just support in front of you. Squeeze the inner thighs together and you're going to lift both legs off the floor. And then lower. Lift both legs. And then lower. Lift. And lower. Trying to keep that top hip quite still. Try not to let it rock too far forwards or back. Lift. Lower. Lift. Lower. Now on this one, you're holding. So keep both feet off the floor. Left foot stays where it is. Right leg lifts up higher and then comes back down to meet the left leg, but both are off the ground. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. So keep that left leg just an inch or two off the floor. And lower. Lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. For 3. Lower. 2. Lower. Last one. So right leg is on top of the left leg, but left leg is still lifted a little off the ground. Bend the knees. So take the feet back behind you. Heels to touch. So my heels are connected. Both knees are slightly lifted. So there's a lot of work in that top side waist. Open the right knee. Close the right knee. Open and close. So my ankles and my knees are hovering off the floor. 8. Lower. 7. Lower. Try not to let that right hip rock back. 6. Lower. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Rest the knees and the ankles so they're still bent. Keep the bottom leg bent, stretch your top leg away. So lengthen through that right leg. Relax the right foot, push your right hip down so you've got as much space as possible in that right side. And then right hand can come back down to the floor. Right leg extends and lifts whilst the right foot stays relaxed all the way up and then lower all the way down. Lengthen as you lift up and lengthen as you lower down. So I want you to keep trying to stretch that right leg as far away as you can. 5. Relax your head. 4. And lower. 3. Lower. 2. Lower. Last one. Lower. Roll onto your front. Take both hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck your toes and just stretch back into a downward facing dog. So just lift your hips up to the sky. Push your heels away. Pedal on the spot. And then reach your right leg all the way up to the sky. Exhale, pull that right knee into the chest like a transition in yoga. So pull the knee in. Inhale, reach your right leg back up to the ceiling. Stretch back. Exhale, pull your right knee in nice and close. Go for 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, pull in. Try and bring the thigh to touch the chest. 2 more. In. And bring in nice and close. Last one. Come all the way in. And then step to a plank position. Rest your knees down to the floor. Look to the top of the mat. So not down to the ground. I want you to look ahead to the top of the mat. Bend the elbows, move the chest forwards for a half push-up. And push the ground away. Just 4 more. So lower halfway. And push the ground away. Keep pulling your belly button in. Lower down. And lift. Last 2. And lift. Last 1. And lift. Walk the knees in. Just cross the legs behind you. Take a seat. The legs crossed. Take your left arm out to the side. Reach your right arm up and just stretch that right side of your waist open. Big stretch through the right side. And then come back to center. Now we'll lie down on our right hand side. So stretch your legs out. Right arm lies all the way out to the ground. Head rests on the right bicep. So the bicep provides a little pillow. Stretch your legs out, left hand for support. And then just watch that top hip doesn't rock back. Try and keep that top hip stable. Lift both legs. Lower both legs. Lift both legs. And lower. Relax your head. So try not to carry or add tension to the neck. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it there on 1. So both feet are off the floor. Top leg lifts. Comes back down to meet the bottom leg. Lengthen as you lift. Lengthen as you lower. Lengthen as you lift. Lengthen as you lower. Slow it down. Reach up. And bring it down. 4, 6. And lower. 4, 5. And lower. 4. And lower. 3. And lower. 2. And lower. 1. So the legs are still stacked. The knees are off the floor. Bend the feet back behind you. So now the ankles and the knees are off the ground. Open the top knee. Keep the heels connected. Lower it back down. Open and lower. Open and lower. For 7. For 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Let the legs relax. Keep the bottom knee bent. Stretch your left leg long. So first of all, just enjoy an opening around that left hip. So push the left hip away. And then keep the foot relaxed. So don't pull the toes back or point the toes. Have the relaxed foot. And then lift that left leg all the way up and lower all the way down. So by relaxing the foot, you're not asking the leg to work. It's just the hip and the glute that you should feel it working. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Roll over onto your front and push back into a downward facing dog. I'm just going to come this way so it's better for you to see. So stretch into your downward facing dog. Take your left leg high. Exhale, bring your left knee into chest. Inhale, take your left leg high. Stretch back, open the spine, and then exhale, pull and round in. Strengthen the abdominals. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, pull and round in. Stretch back. Pull and round in. One more time. Stretch back. Pull and round in. Step to your plank position. Take your feet wide in your plank. So feet are on the outside edges of your mat. Bring the hips so they're in line with the shoulders, one straight line through the body. Rock both heels to the left, toes to the right, and reach your right arm up to the sky, side plank. Keep that left hip lifted. So challenge yourself to lift the left hip. And then bring the right hand down. Swap over, heels to the right, toes to the left. Reach your left arm to the sky, lift the hips. And then rest it down. Rest to the knees. So both knees to the floor. And then rest to the forearms. So bring your forearms and your elbows down. Now try not to be tempted to drop in the chest. I want you to push into the back of the shoulders and pull the belly in. So instead of dropping here through the center, you're almost rounding into the back. So you have this real pull in through the waist and this real push into the back of the shoulders. Stretch your right leg back, point the toes. Inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky as far as it will go up. So keep pulling the belly in, point the toes, reach the toes back, and then we're going to pulse there. So small movements, pulsing into the right glute for 15, 14, 13, 12, 10. Keep stretching the toes back, so pointing as much as you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now big movements, so lower the right leg all the way down and lift all the way up, all the way down and all the way up. Keep the belly pulling in and keep the toes pointed. Keep that right leg stretching away. Go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring the right knee in next to the left knee, but just hover it off the floor. So the right knee is bent. It's going to challenge your stability a bit. So you'll have to push into that right elbow. Take your right knee out to the side and bring the right knee back down. Take your right knee out to the side and bring the right knee back down. Just 6 more. And lower. 5. And lower. 4. Lower. 3. Lower. 2. Lower. 1. Lower. Point and extend the right leg again. So big reach out through the right toes. Small pulses back to the ceiling. You should be quite focused into the back of the right hip for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the right knee down. Stretch back into a child's pose. So just take a few breaths. Open around the right hip. Maybe rock your hips side to side. Just stretch out that area. And then come back. Forearms down. Push into the back of the shoulders. So make sure you're not dropping. Stay active for the last few exercises. Stretch your left leg back. Point the left toes. And then lift and lengthen all the way up to the ceiling. Until you feel a squeeze in that left glute. Then when you get there, small pulses. So small little movements at the very top of the extension. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep your waist pulling in. Keep the toes pointing away. 2, 1. Lower all the way down. Lift to the ceiling. Lower down. Lift to the ceiling. If you think you feel it in the lower back, look to your right knee. So let the neck come forwards, and that'll also open out the lower back a little. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your left knee bends next to the right knee. You've got to push into the left elbow to stabilize yourself. Take the left knee out to the side and bring it back down. Left knee out to the side. And bring it back down. 4, 6. Lower. 5. Lower. 4. Lower. 3. 2. 1. Final time. Extend that left leg back. Small pulses at the very top. For 12. 11. Keep pointing the toes. 8. 7. 6. Navel in. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Bring the left knee down. Come up to both hands. Tuck both toes and just lift the knees an inch off the ground. Pull the belly button in. Look to the top of the mat. Bring your shoulders just a little bit further forwards. Feel the weight through the upper body. Navel to spine. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch back into downward facing dog. Lift your hips high. Imagine someone's holding onto your hips and pulling them back, but at the same time, your hands are glued to the floor. So your arms stretch, your shoulders stretch, the lower back lengthens. And then look to the hands, step your left foot forwards, rest your back knee. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. And move into that right hip. So stretch through your right hip. Left forearm rests on the left thigh. Reach your right arm over to the side. So you're stretching away from that right hip. So we open the front and then we open the side. Big deep breaths. And then take both hands down inside of your left foot. Keep the back knee resting on the floor. Reach your left arm up to the sky. So rotate, look up to the ceiling. See if you can pull the left thigh in a little closer towards you and feel that stretch in the outside of the left hip. And then bring the left hand down. Step back into downward facing dog. Pedal on the spot. Just move through the feet and the ankles, the knees. Right foot steps in. Left knee lowers down. Inhale, arms reach up. Big stretch through the left thigh this time, through the left hip. Try and let your exhale take the hips further forwards. Right forearm rests down. Left arm stretches over to the right. So there's a big side stretch. One more. And then let both hands come down to the floor. Keep the left knee down and then reach the right arm up. As you reach up, see if you can pull that right knee a little closer to the center of the body. So try not to let that right knee just fall out to the side. Try and keep it in. And then right hand down. Place the right knee back next to the left knee. So we have all fours. Take a round of cat-cow. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale, round through the spine. Stay rounded. Keep that height through the back. Tuck your toes, lift the hips. Stretch back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet to the hands. Forward fold. Knees bend. So I want you to bend the knees so much you're resting your belly on the thighs. So don't want any space between the upper and the lower body. I want you to close the gap. Take your arms, wrap around the backs of your thighs, pull the chin into the chest, and then lift your hips up to the ceiling. Stretch your hips up. Let the crown of the head be drawn down. Breathe in here. Breathe out one. Breathe in. Breathe out two. Let the arms hang heavy. Feet push down. Be heavy through the feet. Pull the belly button in, tuck the tailbone, and start to roll up through the spine. Taking your time, coming up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and on 1. Just find your stance. Let the arms relax down by the side. Lift your crown of the head towards the ceiling. Pull the belly button in. Shoulders moving away from the ears, so there's space in the side of the neck. Notice the height and the length, the space across the shoulders. Breathe in, reach your arms up to the sky. And breathe out, bring the hands into prayer, heart center. And bow your chin into the chest. Thank yourself for starting your Monday morning with a little bit of movement. Well done.